I woke up to the wrong kind of laughter. Not the soft kind that belongs in a home, but sharp, echoing, too loud for the morning. Then came a splash, then another, then bass from a speaker rattling the glass. For a second, I thought a neighbor was throwing a party. Then I opened my bedroom curtains. 3 women were in my pool. Not on the deck. Not peeking over the fence. In my backyard pool, floating on ridiculous inflatables, drinks in hand, Bluetooth speaker blaring like they'd booked a resort. One of them actually waved at me, like I was some confused hotel staff who'd walked into the wrong cabana. That was the first time I saw Brenda Collins. Front and center, wide, brimmed hat, big sunglasses, the lazy confidence of someone who has never heard the word no stick. For a weird moment, my brain tried to convince me I had the wrong house. Then my eyes drifted to the framed deed on the kitchen counter downstairs. My name, my signature, my lot. This was my home, my pool, my fence. I stepped outside, barefoot, heart pounding, trying to sound calm. "Good morning," I said. "This is my private pool. You all need to leave." All 3 turned. Brenda tilted her head, slid her sunglasses down her nose, and looked at me like I'd interrupted her manicure. "Your pool." She laughed, high and cutting. "Sweetheart, this is the community pool. Welcome to Silver Crest Meadows." "I bought this property 2 months ago," I said. "The pool is on my lot line. It's on my deed. You're trespassing." Her friends shifted, suddenly less sure of themselves. Brenda didn't flinch. "I wasn't told about a sale," she said, leaning back in the water like it was her living room couch. "And I have a key. So unless you're squatting, maybe you should call the HOA president and ask him about Section 9. I'd read every page of that paperwork. There was no community pool on my lot. But she said it with that HOA board voice, a mix of fake authority and implied threat. "That makes you doubt what you know." "Ma'am, you need to leave now," I repeated. She rose from the water slowly, water sliding off her arms, floral cover, up clinging to her legs, and walked across my deck until I could smell her expensive sunscreen. "Call Mark Delaney," she murmured. "He's the HOA president. Tell him Brenda said hi. Then we'll see who really owns this pool." She snapped her fingers, and the 3 of them walked out through the side gate like they were closing up a rental cabana. No struggle with the latch. The gate swung smoothly. She had a key. I locked it, checked it twice, stood alone by the pool that was supposed to be my sanctuary, and suddenly felt like an intruder in my own life. That evening, I sat across from Mark in the cramped HOA office next to the clubhouse. Artificial plants, cheap coffee smell, that we're all neighbors poster every HOA seems to have. He had the smile I've come to recognize, a practiced, political smile that never quite reaches the eyes. I showed him a screenshot from my security camera, Brenda and her friends in my pool. Drinks, floats, full takeover. He chuckled nervously. "Oh, Brenda. She's passionate." I'm sure it was a misunderstanding. "We all share amenities here." "This isn't an amenity," I said. "The pool is within my property line. I have the plat map. It's mine." He sighed, glanced at his laptop like there was something important on the screen. "She's been here 15 years, he said softly. "You just moved in. We can't assume bad intentions. Maybe extend a little goodwill." "She literally broke into my yard," I said, "and swam in my pool." "Let's not use phrases like broke in," he said quickly. "She's on the budget committee. Making enemies this early doesn't help anyone. I'm just advising you to pick your battles." That phrase followed me home like a stray dog. Pick your battles. It always sounds wise. Funny how it's never said to the person doing the pushing. When I got back, I checked the gate. Locked, I told myself. I tried the latch. Click. The gate swung right open. Someone had filed down the metal tongue so it couldn't catch properly. Not kicked, not forced, adjusted. That was the moment I stopped wondering if I was overreacting. She wasn't borrowing anything. Brenda had decided my pool belonged to her. That night, I ordered security cameras. 4 of them. By the weekend, they were up. 1 by the gate, 1 by the pool, 2 along the fence. Motion alerts, cloud backup, the whole paranoid bundle. For a few days, nothing. Just squirrels, leaves, shadows. Then, around noon on a Tuesday, my phone buzzed. Motion detected. Backyard. I opened the feed and there she was, Brenda, alone this time, stretched out on my lounge chair, sun hat perfect, drink in hand, scrolling her phone like she'd reserved a cabana at a private club. She never even touched the water. She just sat there for 2 hours. Next day, same thing. Day after, she brought friends again. Floats, snacks, selfies, the full girls' day at the pool package. They left before I came home. By Friday, I realized it wasn't just trespassing. It was a performance for an audience of one. Me, watching from a screen. Saturday, I stormed back to the HOA office. Mark wasn't there. His assistant smiled politely and said, "Oh, I think Brenda's using the pool again. She mentioned community access. Didn't you two sort that out?" My hands shook as I pulled up the live feed. Brenda, in my pool, raising her drink toward the camera like she was toasting me. The assistant's smile died. "Oh, wow. I'll note this for the next board meeting." "Don't bother," I said. "I'll handle it." That night, I spread out every document I had on my kitchen table: deed, plat map, HOA bylaws. Every line said the same thing: the pool was mine. But I knew people like Brenda didn't care about documents. They cared about dominance, about who the neighborhood believes. I didn't need more arguments. I needed proof so loud it couldn't be spun. That's when I called Dr. Lewis Grant, my old grad school roommate from the chemistry department. "Tell me you still like ridiculous challenges," I said. He laughed. "Depends. Are we talking equations or felonies?" "Neither," I said. "I need something harmless, temporary, but unforgettable." I told him the story. All of it. The key, the filed latch, the HOA shrug, the sunscreen she smeared on like perfume before every swim. He went quiet. "I don't do stunts anymore," he said. "But if what you want is theatrical, not dangerous, there are cosmetic dyes, pool-safe tints. Some bind temporarily to compounds in high-end sunscreens under UV light. Think magic trick, not chemical warfare." 3 days later, Lewis showed up at my place with a small hard case. Inside were vials, notes, printed safety data sheets. "This dye's used in demos and theatrical makeup," he explained. "Harmless, surface level, fades in a day or two. The trick is, on bare skin or plain water, it does nothing. On sunscreen like hers, hit by sunlight, it shows up like a spotlight." We tested in my garage. He mixed pool water and a dab of her exact sunscreen, then added a drop of dye. For a minute, nothing. Then the water shifted into a sharp, almost neon green. On a silicone skin pad painted with sunscreen, the color bloomed. On bare silicone, no reaction. On fabric, a faint tint that washed out. We ran every test he insisted on. No burns, no irritation, no long-term staining. Just color and embarrassment. 2 rules, Lewis said as he labeled the final vial. 1. Don't lie about what this is. 2. Document everything: time, weather, dose, footage. If it blows up online, transparency is your shield. I promised. The Saturday I chose felt like a movie set. Sky clear, temperature perfect, sun high enough to do its part. I cleaned the pool until it sparkled, tile shining, water postcard blue. Took photos of the sealed vial beside the data sheet. Logged the pool volume, time, and weather. Checked every camera angle. Even shared a live backup feed with my neighbor Howard, a retired teacher who'd already heard the story and quietly picked a side. "Historic theater," he joked. Except this time the villain bought her own ticket. I stepped out, measured the dose Lewis had written down, poured it into the deep end, gently circulated it with the skimmer. No dramatic dumping, just precision. Then I went inside and waited. 15 minutes later, a car door thumped in the distance. Howard texted, "She's here." On the gate camera, Brenda appeared like clockwork: hat, sunglasses, beach bag. 2 friends followed, one dragging a flamingo float. They walked through my gate like a royal entrance. No knocking, no permission. They dropped their bags on my chairs. Brenda took out her sunscreen and began her ritual: arms, shoulders, chest, slow, practice strokes. For a few minutes, everything looked normal. Blue pool, bright sky, laughter. Then her forearm turned green. Not a tiny speck, a vivid, unnatural smear. She froze, stared at it, tried to rub it off. The more she moved, the more the color bloomed. Up her arm, across her shoulder, ghosting onto her neck. The flamingo picked up a green halo where sunscreen touched plastic. The shallow end began to glow faintly under the sun. Her friend screamed. One slipped on the wet deck and went down, shrieking. The other scrambled out, towel flapping, splattering droplets of green. Brenda launched into the performance of her life. She grabbed her phone, flipped to live, and spun around so the camera captured every patch of bright color. "They put chemicals in the water," she screamed. "I'm being attacked. Call the police." Her comments blew up instantly. "Are you okay? Sue him. That's illegal." But the video also showed everything she didn't mean to show. The closed gate she'd opened, her giggling exclusive access comment, the casual way she strolled in with a key. Neighbors appeared along the fence line. Kids watched with wide eyes. Howard, 2 houses over, quietly filmed, capturing the gate, the walk-in, the screams. I hit record on all my feeds and wrote another note. Time, temperature, batch number, dose. It felt awful and right at the same time. The police arrived 20 minutes later. 2 officers, calm, almost bored. Officer Daniels took one look at Brenda, then at me. "She says you put chemicals in the water," he said. I handed him the data sheet and my laptop. "It's a cosmetic demo dye," I said. "Non-toxic. Used in training kits. It reacts with her sunscreen under sunlight. It shouldn't have touched her at all. She's not supposed to be here." They watched the footage from start to finish. Every entry, every swim, every smug wave. By the end, Officer Daniels closed the laptop and sighed. "What I'm seeing," he said, "is repeated trespassing on private property. No sign of harmful intent or dangerous substances. We'll file a report, but this isn't the attack she's describing." Brenda exploded. Threats, lawsuits, declarations that she runs this neighborhood. But for once, no one rushed to back her up. Her magic trick, attention, had finally turned on her. The fallout didn't stop with that green afternoon. Her live stream went viral in local groups. Meme after meme. People laughed, yes, but they also noticed the details. The key, the gate, the familiarity with my pool. Pressure hit the HOA like a truck. To calm everyone down, they announced an internal review, which meant opening the books. That's when the real rot showed. Missing money. Community projects, that never happened. Pool maintenance, invoices tied to weekends Brenda had parties. A handful of payments to shell companies no one could trace. Over and over, the same signature. Brenda Collins, HOA treasurer. The board couldn't bury it. Mark resigned. The HOA was effectively dismantled and handed over to a temporary committee and then to outside auditors. The county launched an investigation. When the police came to see Brenda again, it wasn't about dye. I watched from my porch, coffee in hand, as she argued in her driveway, voice hoarse. She glanced at me, eyes full of bitter fire. "You think you ruined me?" she shouted. "You think this is justice?" "I think this is consequences," I said quietly, "for things you thought you'd never get caught doing." In the end, the system did what it does, slow, boring, effective. She didn't go to prison for decades. This isn't a movie. But she got probation, restitution to me for legal costs and interference, restitution to the HOA for misused funds, and a restraining order keeping her far away from my fence, my gate, my pool. Her house went up for sale not long after. No farewell messages. No tears. Just an empty driveway and a for sale sign sinking into her front lawn like a gravestone. A quiet couple with 2 kids moved in. They waved. They minded their business. The pool went back to being just water, just blue, just mine. Some nights, I sit on the deck and think about how close I came to giving up, to selling, to moving, to deciding it wasn't worth the fight. All because one woman believed her comfort mattered more than my boundaries, and an HOA preferred convenience to fairness. If this whole mess taught me anything, it's this. Peace isn't a favor anyone does for you. It's the line you draw and defend. You don't always need to scream. Sometimes you just need to document, stay calm, and let people's own actions testify against them. The green dye wasn't really punishment. It was a mirror. Now I want to ask you, where's the line between clever justice and humiliation? Was I right to set a safe trap that forced the truth out, or did I go too far? Should the HOA carry as much blame as Brenda for protecting her until it was too late? And if it were your pool, your home, your peace, what would you have done?